Well, hello, beautiful students. Welcome to class. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Boy, do we have a class for you today. That topic is the dangers of staying and what you lose. That means that today we are going to be talking about dangerous people, toxic people, and how they are slowly but surely chipping away at who you are. Now, why do we call this the danger of staying? Because a lot of times people stay in toxic relationships, partly because they're not even sure until things have gotten so damaged that they're actually in a toxic relationship, because people are very sophisticated in how they manipulate other people. There are people out there that are what we call dark empaths, and they are people that know how to cognitively relate to people. And that makes us have this feeling that, yes, they care about us, but in reality, we're holding on to that one event when there is a slew of other events that we could apply to this situation to understand that this person is really wreaking havoc in our life. So let's break down a couple of things that these people do so that you can help identify it when it happens to you. The first thing that a toxic person may do is give you praise. They may tell you how absolutely great you are, and you really hold on to that. You think, wow, this is really amazing. I have this connection with this person. This person seems to be really supportive, and they're giving you praise for something. And so you log that as, this is a good person. This is someone who is supportive of me. But shortly behind that, as you get more into the relationship, you're going to start to see some warning signs. And a lot of times we ignore those warning signs because we keep holding on to that. One instance where they actually praised us when we first met them, and they were saying nice things and giving us props. Keep in mind, this is not just relationships. This is work environments. This is artists in communities. This happens in every type of group and leadership environment where someone is leading a group. And so this is something to really pay attention to. The second thing that they begin to do is power shifting. So we're going to talk a little bit in depth about that, because it's really tricky to see what they're doing when they're actually in a leadership position. We've all had bad bosses, so we know that, oh my gosh, we've been through some level of being in a work relationship with somebody where we want to like them, but then they keep doing these things that are telling us we shouldn't trust them. Sometimes it's easier to recognize maybe in a work environment because we're on guard anyway, and we have set rules and regulations that we have to follow. So we're kind of on our P's and Q's anyway. But in a personal relationship, or a relationship that is more based on camaraderie of a group of, say, artists, it's a little bit different, and it still presents in the same way, which is the person begins to slowly chip away at you. So I want to talk about how the power shifting starts. It can come in a series of different ways. So power shifting can come in the form of controlling your behavior, even when your behavior has been fine. They imply that something in your future or in your judgment may be wrong with your behavior, or that you may go off the deep end and do this, that, and the other, when you have shown absolutely nothing to make that person believe that. And what is the underlying thing saying to you? You have poor judgment. You can't be trusted with your own decision-making skills. You need someone to babysit you and look over you because you may do this behavior. A lot of times in leadership, somebody will discuss a behavior when they've seen the behavior. But in power control games, people will preemptively talk to you about potential behavior they see with you, because it's a way of getting you to start doubting yourself.
What?
A good leader makes a person feel empowered. They do not make someone feel disempowered. And so that is another key thing to look at is the person making you feel empowered to be who you are, or are they taking away your power, letting you know that they know a little bit better than you do, and therefore you should do what they say and not what you would naturally do on your own. A result of a lot of this is that people start to doubt their own empowerment. They begin to walk on eggshells around the person. So I want to give you a little story to kind of break down what this could look like in a situation. So recently I've been made aware of in an artist type of situation where there was a visual performance that was going to take place. one of the collective members of this artistry in this group, there is a leader who is the person that is in charge of seeing the overall sound and the stage and all of those things. And everybody acknowledges that. But one of the things that the leader would do would become basically like a shit disturber and pick one person at a time that he is going to go around and tell one person at a time on different days and different times of the performance what they're doing wrong potentially. And it could be as simple as they don't like a sound or a noise that you're making, or they don't like the fellowshipping that you have with other members of the group, or they potentially think that something in your behavior, for instance, in this story, a person who has a ritual of being social with her bandmates and someone says, hey, I don't like the fact that you drink any alcohol at all whatsoever before the performance when other people do, but it was just that one person that they decided to single out at that particular moment. Now, this person has shown no behavior that in any performance that has ever said there's a drinking problem or that they don't have sound judgment. There's never been a bad performance. None of that. But they decided in that moment that they were going to pull that person aside and let that person know that, hey, I want to caution you on this behavior. I don't think that you should be drinking at this time, and made a big thing out of the drinking. Now, why did that person do that? Because they were power shifting. They were making sure that everybody is walking on eggshells around them because that gives them power. When they can have all the people looking in their direction for tell me what to do next, that gives that person a sense of power. And maybe that person needs to fulfill some level of power in their own life because they feel powerless. That's why people do it. In that particular situation, what was that telling her? That was telling her that, hey, I see a pattern of behavior that I think might be going down the dark side. No proof of that ever happening. So basically saying, hey, you don't have the power to judge for yourself. First of all, you're going down a bad path, but you don't see it because you're the one doing it. So I'm going to let you know before you ever get down that path. I'm going to be the one to tell you. So somehow they are this divine, old man river that's going to guide this person and tell them exactly what they're doing. And in the process, they're shaming that person. They're also creating that person to be emotionally upset. Now, emotionally upset people are easier to control. Why? Because they're off balance. Okay. Then that could be another thing that they use. This person is now emotional. So they can say, you're really emotional, and use that as a negative to further control that person. You can't trust yourself because you get emotional about things. Shaming and saying things like that to somebody who is an adult, who has, in this case, this person was an adult with a family and children and able to manage all of that and had the ritual of being social and having fun. And what that was saying is, hey, I don't respect the fact that you are an adult who actually has a good life, manages your own life quite well, has a family, has raised children and is raising children, but I'm gonna father you and let you know where you're going wrong. That's very demeaning to someone who is trying to exist in a group setting and has to deal with that over and over and over again. It is a power shifting that I am higher than you and I know better than you, even though they don't. It also implies that, hey, you don't know how to get the job done because you're a danger to yourself. So I'm going to step in and give you guidance that you didn't need or ask for because you can't get the job done or do it on your own. You are a danger to yourself. So I need to step in here and make sure that you know that your behavior could become dangerous to the group, even though there's never been any sign of it. Good leader wants you to maintain self-empowerment. And in a relationship, love protects your vulnerabilities. It does not ever use vulnerabilities against you anyway. Another good point is that people have rituals because it's what works for them. They do things a certain way because it's a way of them managing their own stress levels, managing how they get through life. No one else has the power to tell another person whose ritual is better or whether or not they should do a ritual that actually helps them maintain self-control and power over their own life and the situations that they have to move through in life. Life is very nuanced, and we all have patterns and we all have rituals that we follow. No one else has the power to come in and tell you that. But if you stay in a situation like that, then you are calibrating yourself and your own life and your own behavior to the toxic person who is only going to use that to control you. Some of you have been in relationships already where you got to, years down the line of calibrating yourself to this person, walking on eggshells around people, environments. This could be personal, this could be work related, this could be in gigs, this could be in so many different, environments. And the more that you calibrate to a toxic person, what you lose is who you are as a person. And this is why this conversation is so important, because you know what's best for you. You hold within yourself your empowerment. And guess what? Part of your empowerment means it's okay if you also make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect for anybody, any group, any band, any artist, commune, any religious order, any employer. You don't have to be perfect. You have the power within yourself to make change when change is necessary, and no one else has the power to tell you who you have to be as a person, what rituals that you can have. Now, yes, in a work, environment where you're making a paycheck, that's different. There are rules of how you have to behave, and you agree to that in the beginning. But a good leader doesn't disempower somebody or belittle or shame someone else. And the more that you stay in an environment like that, the more you are going to lose yourself as a person. You're going to doubt who you are, doubt what you're doing, doubt your life purpose. There are so many things attached to that in a negative way versus protecting your own spirit and protecting the energy that you choose to put around you. It's all your choice. And there are times where you can't just run out of a room, you can't just move away, you can't get away or just leave a job. I understand that. But it's important to recognize toxic areas and not make excuses because back in the day they did one thing that was supportive. You have to look at the whole package and say, you know what? It's really important that I protect my own harmony and my peace, my self-love, my trust in my judgment, my behavior, my ability to make mistakes, and so on and so on. You are the one that is in charge of that. And when you keep adapting and calibrating to other people's needing to control you, or you continue to calibrate yourself to a toxic person, the danger that you face is one day you will wake up and not know who you are. And a lot of you have already lived there and done that. Myself included, I have the keychain. With that being said, I wanted to share this information with you in this story because I was just prompted through another experience that someone had that they shared with me. You have the ability to be present and the right to be comfortable in any form that you show up in, and you just need to know that and never let anyone steal your power. If you're in a bad work relationship, then you start looking for another way to get yourself out of it. Ask and the door will be open, but never stay in something toxic, because what you lose when you stay is yourself. All right, you guys, I will see you next week. Please make sure to like and subscribe, click those buttons, and I will see you soon. Bye.